or very welcome back to Ireland. Now, there are about 7,000 people in Ireland with Down syndrome, and this gorgeous little 3-year-old beside us, Pippa, is one of them.
No, she's not. No, she's saying no a lot. Lisa Rafferty and her daughter Pippa join us now to chat about misconceptions and taboos around people who have Down syndrome. And Lisa, it is a pleasure to have both you and Pippa here this morning with your purple. No, purple. Where's the purple in your hair? Not purple. She was talking about purple earlier on. Lisa, can we go back to, you have 4 children.
Yeah.
3 boys, and you've got gorgeous Pippa here.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what was happening during your pregnancy when you found out about, and did you find out what was going on with Pippa?
Yeah, so it was a typical pregnancy up until about 24 weeks. And I went in to get a typical scan, and they just noticed that there was an increased resistance in the umbilical cord. So sometimes that can be damaging. It can revert back to, it can revert back to baby. So I needed to be checked and watched. And so I was up getting scanned twice a week, making sure everything was okay. And their aim was to get me to 30 weeks, just to, that was their say.
30 weeks?
30 weeks, yeah.
Okay.
So I got steroid injections just to kind of prolong her lungs, strengthen them in case she was going to be born that bit early. So I got to 32 weeks, which was great. And we got, I was actually admitted, I was in the hospital, just with reduced fetal movements, luckily. And they scanned me before I was due to leave the hospital. And they were just saying is a sick baby or a sleepy baby. She was she was pretty quiet in the womb. Okay. So we weren't let out. They wanted to scan me and just kind of wake baby up and see. So this was quite early in the morning and I needed to go to the toilet. So I said, look, can I, go to the bathroom? And she said, I'm going to get a second opinion. And I said, that's fine, grand. So I went into the bathroom and then they were just following me in and they were stripping me off and getting me ready for an emergency C-section. Okay. They wanted her out.
So Pippa was born at 32 weeks. Now, whenever she was born, the doctors mentioned to you about her eyes and mentioned that there is a possibility, 50-50% chance that she could have Down syndrome.
Yeah.
It took 2 weeks to get...
Yeah, it fell on a bank holiday, so that's kind of why it was the bit extra. I think it's normally about 7 to 10 days, but for us it was the extra couple of days.
Well, first of all, how was the hospital in terms of dealing with that diagnosis or even giving that message to you?
Yeah, they were okay in giving the message and, it was something that kind of had to happen. But I think after that then we were pulled into a room, myself and my husband, and the doctor kind of just said, and it always sticks in my head, was I'm going to start from the head and work my way down to the toes and just tell you what's wrong with Down syndrome. So to me, that's still kind of, it hurts, that's our child. So I think they kind of need to be a little bit more sensitive when they're talking to parents that are after getting a shock.
But that word is, that's stuck in your head.
Yeah, so it starts with the doctors. I think they need to kind of word their phrases differently. Yeah,
and was he trying to be just brutally honest to give you a picture of where...
Yeah, maybe. He was a pretty blunt doctor. I kind of had the fear every time I was going up to the NICU to see Pippa because he did put the fear in us. He was just kind of one of them stern doctors. So maybe he was just brutally honest. Maybe I was just taking it badly, but I just think his wording was wrong.
And what was your reaction when you did hear that?
I suppose we were just taking it all in. It was so much to take in. We were just so taken aback by what he was saying, and we just came away. And of course you go onto Google, you Google everything. So that was the wrong thing to do, because Google as well says awful things and awful images, and it's terrible.
Because you had 2 older boys. You have a vision of your life.
Yeah.
You essentially do.
Yeah.
And it must be very hard to get your head around these things.
Absolutely.
But you have to be given time, right, to adjust to what life is going to look like.
Yeah.
Is that something that sometimes when you think back, kind of going, oh my God, what am I going to do? That you feel guilt about, or do you understand that you had to give yourself time?
Yeah, we did understand that we had to give ourselves time, but it was pretty hard to deal with and to take on board, because, like you said, you have a vision. You think you're just going to get pregnant, have a baby, and that's it. But you just don't think of any medical sides or extra chromosomes or anything like that. So it was pretty tough to take on board. But now looking back, I think it was more so, it was me. It was, you know, I had the fear, and, you know, even when I mentioned it to my 2 older boys, and we told them, they were just like, yeah, what are you crying for? You know, they just took it on board. And I think that made me see that it's okay, you know. That's orange.
Pippa, she's 4 now, is that
She'll be
right?
4 in October.
And but when she came home and you're bringing your precious baby home, she had sleep apnea. She had to be fed through a feeding tube as well. And you know must be so difficult when you're having to take these devices to help your baby survive.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we found this out. It was 3 months after Pippa was born, and we found out all these medical issues. And it does come hand in hand with Down syndrome. But yeah, it was a lot to take on board. That was pretty tough for us. You know, we had to quickly become a medical family and train how to pass the NG tube down her nose. So it was pretty tough on us. But look, we obviously, it's our daughter, and we just have to get on with it and do it, you know?
The thing is, I suppose, when you live in a world where you don't know anything, did you know anyone who had Down syndrome?
No, and that's it. So it was so new to us. It was so new to us that we you know, we had to learn.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and I think there isn't much of a you know, information as such, and people aren't knowledgeable on it, and that's okay. You know, I wasn't too, but I think that's why I set up our Instagram page, was just to make people aware and just to let them see that it's not such a scary thing, you know.
She's adorable.
Thank you.
She's just gone through her first year in preschool as well.
She did, yeah.
How's she finding it?
Brilliant, brilliant. They've been so good with her, and her AIM support workers, an absolute gem. That's orange.
Orange. That's orange. That's orange.
So she's flying it now. She's really flying it.
Oh, look at that. Your certificate there. We just saw Gordon's picture on the stairs too.
And how, like, Pippa with other people, how is she when it comes to socialising, to being with other people? And how do other people treat Pippa?
Yeah, well, at the start she was pretty shy. Even now, I was kind of hoping she'd kind of play ball here. But she can
came
shy
in very
away.
shy, and she's been great.
Fantastic.
She is, yeah. She's coming out herself. I think school is bringing her out so much with interacting with other children, because when Pippa was born, COVID was only coming in. So, you know,
COVID, baby.
Yeah. So I think school is really, really helping to bring on that. But yeah, she's...
And because we talk an awful lot here about schools and the lack of funding and the resources that they have. But in terms of resources and teachers and whatever for Pippa, has it been positive on the whole?
Yeah, like for us it has. I mean, Down Syndrome Ireland, I reached out to them and they've been excellent for us in terms of, like, you know, showing us the way to therapists that we needed, just even support, just to meet other families. Her Instagram page has been brilliant, kind of connecting with other families too.
Because is that important to you? That Pippa knows other people who have Down syndrome, that Pippa is comfortable in that environment.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know if she understands that, say, another child has Down syndrome. That's orange.
That's orange. Yeah.
I don't know if she understands that, but it's comforting to me, and it's nice to see, because like that, I was unaware of anybody with Down syndrome, so it's so nice and comforting to be around other people with Down syndrome.
And you share your stories on social media around this. Like, I'd say the response that you get is incredible, and even for you to think that you didn't have somebody like that maybe to try and learn off, which is so important.
Yeah, like, I mean, well, I did now, in fairness, because there is pages that we follow, and they had been great to me when Pippa was born, and I did reach out to them. But I do get messages on the daily to say, you know, this page has really helped us, and our child is, you know, say 2, and, you know, we're looking at Pippa and it's great, and, you know, they will get there too, you know.
It's a whole new world for people with Down syndrome, because you're talking 60, 70, 80 years ago. People with Down syndrome were put into an institution and they mightn't have ever have seen anyone ever again. Whereas now there are people with living lives, jobs who have socialisation, living by themselves. What are your hopes for Pippa's future?
She's having a great time.
Yeah. I suppose just to be inclusive, everyone to be inclusive, and just to welcome anybody with Down syndrome, never mind just Pippa. you know, at the end of the day, they're human beings with feelings, and we always say, you know, she's Pippa first, and it's her diagnosis after. So it's not, you know, Pippa with Down syndrome, or you know, it's not Pippa. Yeah. You know, she's not the child with Down syndrome. It's Pippa first, and it's Down syndrome after.
And
I have a
listen,
feeling
I'd say
everyone's wrapped around her finger.
with
Is it
her
her
three,
brothers?
three brothers,
Yes.
I'm sure, and protect her, and I'm sure just are. They're so close together.
They're her bodyguards, aren't they? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to
they
give a wave to your brothers on the
wave.
camera?
Gonna say hi.
Wanna wave? Say
hello.
hi.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, she doesn't want to
Do you want
know.
to blow a kiss?
Listen, your Instagram page, if people do want to follow and want to know more, it is at @our_princess_Pippa_. And if people want to do get in touch, I'd say it is a beautiful page.
Yeah.
And she's a
Yeah, we're just so
beautiful girl.
proud. I mean, she is become an ambassador for the Woodie's Heroes campaign also.
Wow.
So that means so much to us. So yeah, it's just the last week, if you don't mind me saying, it's the last week to kind of push. So yeah, if people can donate to their local Woodie stores for the last week, that would be brilliant. You just donate at the tills in any Woodie stores. So we're so proud, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's your
girl.
purple? Purple. She loves colours,
Yes.
doesn't
Oh,
she?
she does. She's learning so much.
And Pippa Rafferty, thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
coming
much,
in.
Tommy and Muireann. Thank you.
Thank you. See you
Bye
later.
bye. Blow kiss.
We've lots more still to come here on Ireland